cops. They showed up, and so they didn't take it anywhere. I didn't know if they had plans for my car or what.
Wow. What kind of
Looks
car do
like we're
you have?
live now, Karen.
Because I know that there are certain cars they look
Great.
for different parts.
Mm.
Now
Okay,
we're live.
excellent.
I know that there are certain cars they look for different parts. Oh, I'm getting an echo of my voice.
That was from my phone.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Okay,
Judy.
we're going to start all over. Hello and good afternoon or evening, everyone. Welcome to the Community Preservation Committee April 15th meeting. The time now is 6:08. My name is Karen Lee, the administrator for the committee. And welcome, everyone. Tonight, we'll be going over the deliberations of the CPA applications, which our chair, Bob McCarroll, will go over shortly. I don't know if I really need to bring up the agenda because there's not much on it. If you do need to reach us, please send an email to cpc@springfieldcityhall.com, or you can send us a letter if you have anything you want to say about these applications to 36 Court Street, Springfield, Mass. 01104. And that would be to the Community Preservation Committee. And introduce the chair, Bob McCarroll. And I'm all set with my piece. So go ahead. It's all you.
All right. Well, thank you, Karen. So welcome, everyone. I'm Bob McCarroll. I'm chair of the Community Preservation Committee, and with us tonight are Juanita Martinez, the Conservation Commission representative, Gloria DiFilippo, the Planning Board representative, Steve Bosworth, the neighborhood representative, Yolanda Consul, another neighborhood representative, Judith Kroll, the Historical Commission representative, Clinton Harris, the Park Commission representative, Willie Thomas, the Housing Authority representative, and we may be joined later by Rhonda Sherrill, another neighborhood representative, and I represent the Springfield Preservation Trust. So the first item on the agenda is the adoption of last meeting's minutes. Everyone should have gotten them. So is there a motion to adopt?
I make a motion.
Okay, a second?
I second.
Second, so we'll take a roll. Juanita,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Gloria,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Bob, and Bob is yes. So the only other item on tonight's agenda is the beginning of the discussion of the 2025 applications. This is the point where we start discussing all 35 of them from top to bottom. And to help us order the discussion, folks will have provided what they think are their top 8 projects. There is no vote tonight. It is simply going to be a discussion. So we will start now for the public record for everyone to list what they chose as their top 8 projects. So we'll start with Juanita. And just have to list them.
So, yeah, right. In no particular order here.
Correct.
The Historic Homes Restoration Program, the Down Payment Assistance Program, Habitat for Humanity Affordable Home Ownership, Parent Villages Nonprofit Center Restore and Repair Project, restoration of stained glass windows to the Immaculate Conception Church, Marshall Roy Park, 79 Stockbridge Street stabilization, and the North Riverfront Park dock improvement.
Okay. Next, Yolanda, would you list your top 8?
Yep. In no order, mine is Myrtle Street Park improvements, Marshall Roy Park all ability play structure and enhancement, Dole Avenue Trail, North Riverfront Park dock improvement, Parent Village Nonprofit Center Restore and Repair Project, Lot 47 Goldenrod, affordable home ownership, and CPA down payment assistance program.
Okay. Judy? You're muted, Judy. You're still muted, Judy. Oh, no. It's still muted.
Karen, can you unmute her?
Yes, I think. Let me move my screen around.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Sorry about that. I have restoring the Stern Square Granite Bench, Forest Park Fitness Course, McKnight Park Restoration, the Buckingham Fountain in Triangle Park, 52 Sumner Avenue Stained Glass Historic Resource Rehabilitation, Elijah Blake House Exterior Preservation, Paramount Theater Roof Replacement, restoration of stained glass windows at Immaculate Conception Church, and the Daniel New Bethel Kojic Project, Church of God in Christ.
Okay. All right. Clinton?
Okay, thank you, Bob. I have Parent Village Nonprofit Center Restore and Repair Project. I have affordable home ownership in no particular order. I have St. Peter's Episcopal Church restoration of stained glass windows. I have Forest Park Fitness Course. I have lost. Okay. I have down payment assistance program. I have Daniel's New Bethel Restoration Project and revitalizing our church.
Okay. Gloria?
Okay. I have Marshall Roy, the All Ability Park, St. Peter's Episcopal Church, Immaculate Conception Church, the regular windows, City of Springfield Office of Housing, Parent Villages, Greater Springfield Habitat for Humanity, Daniel's New Bethel Church, the roof only, though I didn't see any further pictures from them concerning the stained glass windows. Did you get anything else, Karen? I didn't see it in the folder.
Gloria, let's not worry about that.
Okay.
Just give us your list.
Oh, sorry. And Naylor Nation Real Estate Lot 47.
All right. Thank you.
Bob,
Steve?
excuse me, Bob, I have an error. Can I correct the error that I found?
Yep. Yeah.
So Karen, is it possible for you to correct Daniel's New Bethel Restoration Project and switch it with McKnight Park Restoration? That's for whatever reason I erred right there.
So you want Daniel's New Bethel?
No. It looks like that's what it is, right? It's in
You've chosen right now, you're down is having chosen McKnight, not Daniels.
Okay, good. Well, okay, because I think I read it wrong. Okay, all right, very good. Okay. Thank you so much.
Steve?
Sorry about the interruption.
Steve?
Okay, Affordable Housing Habitat for Humanity Project, CPA Historic Homes Restoration Program. Number 3, Parent Villages Nonprofit Center Restore and Repair. 4, Forest Park Fitness Course. 5, North Riverfront Park Dock Improvement. 6, 7 and 9,
Trying to be a
7
better
through
man
9,
because you deserve the
Stockford
best.
Street stabilization. 7, Kavanaugh project, and 8, revitalize our church on Eastern Avenue.
All right, and Willie,
Okay, I have the Mulberry House project, Kimball Towers project proposal, 7 and 9 through 9 Stockford project, St. Peter's Church stained glass windows project, McKnight Park restoration, Buckingham Fountains, and the Triangle Park project, Marshall Roy Park all play project, Forest Park Fitness project, and Daniels New Bedford restoration project.
okay. And I am, and not in any particular order, the Stern Square Bench, Doyle Avenue Trail, Riverfront Park Dock, Paramount Theater Roof, St. Peter's Church, Wallace House, Ames House, and the Historic Preservation Program. And Rhonda's not here, so if she arrives, we may give her an opportunity to add hers depending on when she arrives. If not, it will be at next week. So once again, this is just ordering the discussion. So we'll start with those that receive the most amount of interest and work our way down. So the top 2 are the Parent Villages at 32 Hamden Street. So maybe some of those people who selected that as their project may want to say why they chose it.
Steve, I'll start. I think it's a win-win situation in terms of a unique habitat for nonprofit enterprises in the city. It's a modest, relatively modest, yet apparently needed restore and repair program that will bring an important building downtown, back to much better shape. And I just think overall the enthusiasm and the vision of the sponsors of this were very motivating in my view.
Anyone else have comments? I guess Steve summed it all up. I guess my only comment was that it was not among my top 8 because it's not a vacant, deteriorated building. It is deteriorated, but it's not vacant. And it's obviously usable at this point. Okay, moving on to the next one, Affordable Housing Habitat for Humanity. Someone who chose that, want to make a comment?
I can speak to that. Just let me out. I mean, I don't want to monopolize the thing, but I'll speak to that because I think we had 5. We could have 5 new single family homes if we funded all of these projects. Now, unfortunately, I wish they were duplexes or triplexes. It'd be better to multiply the effect, but it's still an important to have. I think subsidized or affordable housing that's to some extent more or less permanently maintained as affordable. I have great respect for the Habitat for Humanity organization. I know the work they've done in Springfield and other places. It's exemplary. And I didn't know the other sponsors, the applicants that well. I think they had viable projects too. I like, for example, the idea of adding an accessory dwelling unit or making the plan accommodate an accessory dwelling unit right from the start. That's great. You almost get they get the two units for one. Although I don't think they did that for this one.
Correct. It was not this one that has the accessory dwelling unit.
I think that's a great idea, though. I think that maybe something we require now from here on out. What an idea.
So, anyone else have a comment? So, all right, well, I guess I would say that it was not in my top 8 because I think it's a lot of money to create one dwelling unit. I think the city's Office of Housing, where they give small grants to income eligible people to buy current houses that are on the market, we get more bang for our buck in terms of owners. Anyway, Karen, how many 4s are there now? All right, and the first one, so that we don't have to deal in any particular order. So it's Marshall Roy, and then we'll do North Riverfront Park. All right, so anyone have a comment on Marshall Roy? Gloria?
Yes, this one was my top because this is something I've been asking the park department about, that we needed to have an all-ability park. And I'm very pleased that they finally have addressed that issue and that they're putting up a communication board, which is also vital for those who are non-speaking or non-vocal, and they can choose. They still have the ability to be independent and choose. And I think this would be, I think it's a perfect spot and a perfect plan.
Anyone else want to make a comment on it? Okay. The North Riverfront Park dock. Someone want to make a comment on that?
Yeah, I'll make a comment on it. I think bringing people closer to the river. The dock that they had was really the condition of it wasn't very good, and in the past few years, more people have been going on the river there. The people coming from other cities. There's been more people noticing the river, and I think that's important because we do live near one of the main rivers in the United States, and to expose people to the river is important.
Okay. Anyone else want to make a comment? So I would just say that I agree with what Juanita said. I think assuming when we fund this, we may want to ask that they reuse the dock somewhere else if that's possible. Maybe
I think that was mentioned.
Yeah, well, that's correct. So
yeah, I think that was mentioned.
Piggyback onto that. Okay, Karen, what's the next one? St. Peter's and then Forest Park. Okay, so the next one is St. Peter's Church.
I voted for that one. Excuse me. Oh wait, did I vote for that one? Oh no, I'm sorry. I think I had another one.
Don't use the term vote, Judy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean vote. My
top
selection.
8. Yes.
But that wasn't it. I have another one. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay. Someone who chose St. Peter's want to make a comment?
Gloria, I think you did.
Yes, I did. I had to look up my list because my brain doesn't hold much lately. I just thought it's not a whole lot of money, and it's a project that we can accommodate, and it's a good project to replace the windows. And I saw that they have a quote now for the plexiglass or a laminate over it, which is also important. So
yeah. And for those of you that didn't see it, because it's now in our Google Drive file, the estimate for putting on new protective glass over the large arch window that's partially broken is $41,000. So we have the option when it comes to voting and when it comes to funding, we could fund just the repair of the stained glass window, but we could also fund the putting on new unclouded plexiglass or whatever that material is to protect the window. Okay. The next one was the Forest Park Fitness Station. Someone who chose that want to talk about it?
Bob, do you want me to bring up that St. Peter's quote there or no?
No, I don't think, well, unless, I don't think it's necessary unless other people do. The bottom line is if we want to fund that, it's another 41,000 on top of the 11,000 that the repair of the broken window will be. And we don't have to make that decision tonight. I'm just saying that it's sort of a two-part application at this point.
How many votes did the fitness center get?
Now, how many people selected it?
I mean, selected it, sorry.
4.
Select 4? Okay.
Yes.
Yep, I was one of the people who selected it. I thought the fitness center would be a good addition to Forest Park. It's a well-attended park. It's almost like one of the most popular parks when you come into Springfield. I thought it would be good to have that.
Okay. Anyone else want to comment on that? Yeah, and I would only point out that they were an unsuccessful applicant last year, so. All right, Karen, if we can go back to the list.
Okay.
I think there are several 3s. How many 3s are there altogether?
3, 4, 5. 5 3s.
Okay. And the first one is the CPA Historic Homes Program, our own program. And then the Stockbridge Street project. Since I will be recusing myself on Stockbridge, Juanita will lead the discussion on that. But right now on the Historic Homes Program.
I think it's important. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Willie.
Yeah, I think it's important that we take in consideration proposals where there's an opportunity for us to acquire more housing, affordable housing, whatever. This is one of several projects that are on the proposals that I kind of zeroed in on because of the fact that I'm always looking for projects where we can do affordable housing and fitness programs and et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I zeroed in on some of these projects. I'll speak about this one specifically at this time, and I do support that.
Okay. Any other comments on this? No. Okay. The next one is 7 to 9 Stockbridge Street. Juanita, if you want
Yeah.
to take over that, please.
Okay, and let's see, how many people,
3.
So
Three.
this
Three
one got
selected.
3.
What-
There are 5 projects that were selected by 3 people.
by 3 people? Okay, anybody here who selected that one and want to speak on it?
I will.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we provided a grant last year, I believe, for the elements of this one. This is for, some important internal work that they were describing in terms of straightening it out. It being, I believe the 3rd oldest building in Springfield and strategically located. I would like to see this thing or follow through on this project and get that building back in shape and get everybody in it.
I also agree with you, Steve, that, it is I thought it was the 2nd oldest, what is it, 3rd, 2nd oldest? And to preserve those buildings that we have, and also that the plans for the other plans for enlarging that area, I just think it'll make that little piece of Springfield, that street, close enough to the casino and the continuation of making that place a more interesting area. But again, the fact that it's one of the oldest buildings in Springfield needs to be protected. Anybody else have? Okay, so we'll go on to the next one.
Okay, Karen, if you can go back to the chart again.
You know what, Karen? Can you leave that chart up? Or do you do?
Well, it's helpful for me to acknowledge people who want to speak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
so
All right.
it's better to go back.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
see.
yeah.
So, I mean, what we could have is if Chair Karen can simply say the next one on the list is,
Yeah.
so the next
Okay.
one on the list is the down payment program, and then we'll do the Buckingham Triangle, and we'll do Daniels New Bethel. These were all 3 people selected them. Okay,
Okay.
so. So anyone want to make a comment as to why they chose the Office of Housing first-time home buyers?
I chose that one. I think it's important to encourage more home buyers in the city, so that we don't end up with absentee landlords, which always causes a problem for neighborhoods.
Okay,
I agree with you, Gloria, on
Anyone?
that, on the absentee landlord. I like the fact that there is help for first home buyers. I like the fact that if they're there for 5 years, the loan is absorbed. And if there's one thing we need here is more more homeowners. And it's a good program. And it'll as we talked about before, instead of helping one family, this is helping many.
And anyone else have a comment?
This would be, if I could have chosen 9, this would have been my 9th. I feel that it was really hard selections, and this was one of them that I struggled with putting in the maybe pile, and here's goes the top 8 pile, and that was one of them that I struggled with. And we need more things like this, especially with gentrification stepping into our city, with, just to get residents who's been here and been tenants to actually get them into home ownership without having to move out of the city that they grew up in. It's very important for us as a resident and as citizens. So I love this program.
Okay, and anyone else want to make a comment? So I would only add for Yolanda, even though you could only choose your top 8, we have at least enough money that even if everyone gets the maximum grant of 300,000, we probably have enough to fund 11 projects. So
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's great then.
You will have an opportunity to go after number 9.
Nice.
So the next one is the Buckingham Triangle.
I chose that one because it's in our McKnight Historic District, and I think we could beautify it to just continue the upkeep and add more to the neighborhood.
And anyone else have a comment?
Yes, I agree with you. I was raised in the Winchester Square area, and I have fond memories of playing in that area. I go by there now, even though there's not a lot there. There's still people there, and they're sitting out there. And I remember when the facility and everything there was operating properly. So, I want to continue that. So I support this project.
Anyone else?
Yes, I have to tell you that
Yep.
I'm an implant to Springfield. I've been here for many, many years. But when I first came to town, that Buckingham area, all of that area was pristine, gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. And I just fantasized the day of restoring that neighborhood. So that's primarily why I picked that. I love that area very much.
Right.
Thank you.
The only comment that I would make is this is one of the projects that we could do less than everything, because they said they could live with just having the fountain fixed. as
Yeah.
opposed to a new walkway put in, and et cetera, et cetera. So just keep that in mind when we actually start voting on projects. All right. Now we're down in the projects that two people selected. How many of them are there, Karen? Just to get an idea.
Well, we're down to 2, right? Wait, am I
Yeah.
even?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're down to the twos.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 twos.
Oh, okay.
Did we do Daniels?
Oh, no,
We
you're
did
right.
not.
Thank you, Gloria, that I missed that one. So the next one we will be discussing is the Daniels New Bethel Church.
Yes. I chose that one. I think a couple of years ago, they had applied for help with the windows, and I think this one is about the roof. I just think it is, again, the historical content of it, and we can assist them with roofing repairs.
The same
I
for
agree
me.
wholeheartedly with you, Judith, and that would have been my 9 or 10 for sure. So if we do get a chance to vote other options, I don't mean vote, select other options, that's certainly be one that I'd be really considering.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I would just say once again, this is another one that we could do the important stuff and not necessarily do some of the other stuff on it. All right. So now we start the ones that got 2. So the Doyle Avenue Trail. I picked that. Who was the other person that picked it? Because maybe they have a comment they want to make.
Yolanda.
Yolanda.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I picked this project because I felt like having more walking areas, especially in that area. I always feel like empty parks, empty spaces are dangerous. And I feel like if we was to help fund something like this, like a walking trail that brings more vibrancy to the area, and it keeps woods and humans into the woods, and it's just a lot of different reasons why I feel like the more we put into like our open spaces, the better. And I like the the conservation being involved. I love that pathway, and I love that the community was coming together to take care of this and not always depend on our city or wait for somebody else to do it. So I love just the whole project. That's the reason why I chose it.
Thank you.
So I'd like to make a comment on it. That was not one of my 8, only because it's a project that I really like. For the reasons you said, Yolanda. But the only reason I didn't vote for it is because it was it was 28,000, almost 29,000. And I figured at the end, we probably at the end would have some money to actually take this project on. I mean, because just because it was such a small amount.
Mhm.
But that's the only reason I didn't vote for it. But it is one of the projects that I think is valuable.
Okay, and any other comments? All right, then moving on to another 2, which is revitalizing our church on Eastern Avenue. So someone want to comment on that?
Bob, I will. This is a situation too where they may not need the full grant to do the most important thing, which is the roof. I think that was about 151,000. I believe that this is a beautiful building. It's just a landmark down there, right off the corner of Springfield College campus, and it's like somebody dropped English country cathedral in the middle of a working class neighborhood. It's just a beautiful thing. So from their the applicant's testimony was that, there is continuing, water leakage in the building, and they do need a new slate roof. So I felt that this was a worthy project and one that we could scale back in terms of the actual amount that we would, provide for them.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Anyone else want to make a comment?
So yeah, I picked this one as well. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Steve. And to the degree of anything that we offer to this project, I think is going to be amazing for those people and the work they'll be able to do over there. Thank you.
Thank you, Clinton. And anyone else? Okay, so the next one is the lot on the new house on Goldenrod Street. Karen, there were two Goldenrod Street proposals. Did the other one, because we really should consider them sort of almost the same. So it
Didn't get any votes.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, all right. So let's.
Is that the 47, 46 one?
40, 48, 47, 48.
Yeah.
Because I know I voted. Oh no, that's not the.
No.
Is that the goldenrod?
Yeah, there are two Goldenrod projects.
Yeah, I know I picked one. Was it 47?
It
Yes.
must be. Okay,
Because I know that there was two, so I figured at least pick one.
yeah. Well, I think we'll, all right. So for those that pick Goldenrod Street, anyone have to make a comment?
I chose it. I'm not quite sure. I just felt that any opportunity to add additional housing is important. But it wasn't at the top of my list, let's put it that way.
I mirror Gloria. It wasn't at the top of my list, but we do need more housing in the city, and anything affordable is a plus for us, and more housing in our city is a plus for us. But it wasn't really at the top of my list.
Anyone else have comments?
Who were the two people for Goldenrod? Gloria and who else?
Yolanda.
Wanda.
So,
But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they say that actually wasn't affordable housing? It was going to be market rate.
no, because they've asked, if it were market rate housing, we would not be funding it.
Okay.
No, it is affordable. It's not as affordable. It doesn't meet the same income level as, let's say, the Habitat for Humanity house. They deal with only people under 60% AMI. This will be affordable to people who are under 100% AMI.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All
And
right.
I did not choose it because I just think having chosen a house style that's going to cost nearly $600,000 to build, and then needing a $300,000 CPA subsidy to get it to the affordable level of $300,000, it's excessive.
Yeah.
There are houses being built out there for far less than 600,000, but that was just me. Okay. The next one is the Stern Square bench.
I voted for that one. I miss seeing the bench there. It was beautiful spot. Honestly, I'm not sure why it was removed. I don't remember. I know it was on the news, but I would like to see it restored.
And that was one of mine. I mean, it's one of the least expensive asks we have this year. And there's now nowhere to sit in Stern Square. So to put the historic bench that was designed to go in Stern Square, and went in 1888 back, to me is important. All right.
And I just have a note because a lot of these smaller ones were a dilemma for me, but I also agree with you that it should be brought back because it's there, we have it. And it was small enough, the amount was small enough that we could maybe play with it and get it on. That was my reasoning.
Okay.
And I know the Parks Department's gonna do everything in their power to restore that. So whatever it's gonna take, and so if they have to come back to us next year, whatever it is, whatever it's gonna take, I know that they're gonna do whatever they can to restore that bench. That's what I'm confident about.
Okay.
Okay. So the next one is 52 Sumner Avenue, stained glass windows.
That was one of my selections. I really am excited about how it's being used now as an art space in the theater space. And I think restoring the stained glass is just going to enhance the venue even more.
Okay. Anyone
I
else?
I actually was excited about the presentation. I actually thought that it really grabbed me, and it's because for that reason that Judith was just talking about, the performing arts and the care of the community that they're doing down there. I just was very much impressed with all of that. So that's why I picked it.
Right. And this is another one that we could fund for less than what they've asked for. Okay. So the next one then is the Paramount Theater roof. So Judy, you pick that. You want to make a comment on it? Judy, you're muted.
Sorry. When I first moved to Springfield, I remember that theater. It was really iconic to me and the area. So I would love to see it kind of come back in some way. I think it would be great for the area as well.
Yeah, and it was on my list because sort of piggybacking on Judy, you can't get much more iconic in Springfield for the Paramount Theater, which was, one of the major movie houses for almost 100 years. So, okay. And the last number 2 is the stained glass windows at Immaculate Conception Church. Someone who picked that? Want to comment?
Yes, I did. I picked it because it's a historic building. It's 100,000. The windows are beautiful, and what's been done so far is lovely. And yeah, I think it's a worthy project. Again, for the historic building that it is.
Yes, I also picked that, and I agree with Juanita about that project.
Okay. So now we're into those that received 1 response. Karen, can you pull up? And how many ones are there?
Well, let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. And so we'll start off with the Myrtle Street Park improvements.
That was me. I picked that one. I feel that in Indian Orchard, we don't have enough parks for our kids to play. So the more that we enhance at least one of the parks for our kids, especially this particular park, because there's so many homeless shelters and halfway houses and a lot of kids in that area, and they hover to that area, especially during the summer. The more that we could give more kids active things to do, I am 100% for it because we don't have a lot in this area. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to hit up Juanita and Clinton because I hear there's a proposal going on for the one off of Page Boulevard that nobody heard about, except that I fell into a conversation with somebody that told me that somebody was fixing something over there. So I wanted to know why they haven't reached out to neighborhood council or anything else like that on what is going on. But I heard that Juanita and Clinton were kind of involved in the one up the street. But other than that, Myrtle Street and Hubbard Park is pretty much what all we have for the entire Indian Orchard. So I felt like this project was very important when it comes to our youth and our kids and give them something to do during the summer, the spring, and fall.
Okay. And anyone else? Any other comments on Myrtle Street? All right. So the next one is the Demore Museum windows. Would the person who picked that want to talk on it?
Yeah, and that was me. And you know, the museum's just amazing work. And that's really what I'm supporting as far as I'm concerned. And again, good presentation that day as well. But I just, well, I wanted to, my central focus was on housing on this, on these selections. But I also recognize, you know, how important it is to have, you know, our ability to express ourselves. So the museum does they're doing amazing work. They've been doing amazing. We support them a lot. They're doing amazing work down there. I just wanted to continue supporting them.
Okay. Anyone else want to comment on the museum? I would just add that this is another one that we could recommend with less than what they've asked for. So the next one is Mulberry House roof. Willie, that was you.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Willie.
Unfortunately, I don't have my glasses on right now, so I'm gonna have to hold off on comment on that one. I have my notes, but I can't read them.
Oh, all right.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Well, because the next one is the Kimball roof, which you also picked. So find your glasses and we'll come back to you.
Okay, thank you.
The other one, then the next one is the Immaculate Conception basement windows. That was Gloria.
Again, it was a reasonable amount of money, which I thought we could fund.
Okay. And then there was the Wallace house up at the old McDuffie campus. That was me. You know, once again, this is a vacant, deteriorated pre-1850s building that's been sitting like this for 11 years. So I think it's important to do it. I think once again, we could fund the roof and don't have to fund the windows. The next one, of course, is the Ames House, which is a little further up Maple Street in the same boat, damaged severely by the tornado. And once again, we could fund the roof, but nothing else. The other things. And now the Kavanaugh project, who selected that?
I did.
So let me back up. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to add either to the Wallace house or the Ames house?
Bob, I do on that. I mean, that's a great area that if it were brought back, it would be beautiful. It was beautiful at one time. It was gorgeous up there, and for the tornado, it's a lot to do there. There's a lot to do. I agree that we focus on, you know, roofs. It's probably the right thing to do because I mean it's just years and years of work up there in terms of getting those buildings back to where they want to get them. You know, so there'll be other opportunities for them to come back. Now I was thinking about that too. I wanted to put those on too because they're just such significant buildings up there. So
Yeah, I second that. I went over it a few times. It was one of the that could have made the top because I used to live there around that area, and we used to go up there for the fireworks. And it's an amazing property that could be utilized in so many different ways. And it's sad that the management hasn't done what they needed to do, and it's sad that it's just kept going from hands to hands to hands and not really anything being done. So I'm hoping that somebody was going to remain permanent and come back to us several times, just continue coming back until it is so beautified that it would be an asset to Springfield, those historic buildings. So I really do hope that a management or somebody does come back.
Anyone else want to make a comment on that? If not, we will go to the Kavanaugh building.
Yeah, that was mine. That was mine, Bob. I picked this because I think it is a unique proposal. We did provide funding last year for an initial phase. I did make a note on my when the presentation was doing that, alert, there's a funding problem here, it looks like, over with inflation and whatnot. But on the other hand, the fact is that there's nothing in the city really like this. 37 units are down to, 30% of AMI. I mean, that's just, really low. And the other ones are 65 AMI. And, they're catered to a specific population that is seldom addressed. So I think it's a really worthwhile project. Will our 300,000 or whatever we choose to give to it keep it viable? I don't know, because there are a lot more money is needed than just our contribution here. But I think it's very worthwhile, and I hope it comes to fruition, because I think it's really needed.
Okay. Anyone else have any other comments? Yeah, I would just add that I think we get more bang for our 300,000 here than we do on single family houses. Okay, so the last one that was chosen by someone was Blake House.
That was chosen by me.
Yeah. Okay.
I felt that it was an easy job to do, and we could keep the house, like restore it and preserve it. It moved several times, and I just think it would be a great project.
Okay. Anyone else want to make a comment? No, well, and once again, I would just add, this is one that when we get to discussing and voting could be partially funded. All right. So now we're down to the projects that didn't come bubble up on anyone's list. Nathan-Bill Park.
Oh, Bob, do you want to
Yeah.
go back to Mulberry and Kimball for Willie's comments?
Well, that could be Willie. Have you found your glasses?
No, it's a lost cause.
Oh,
So I'm gonna have to hold off. Maybe I can comment at the next meeting. If I can. But
maybe you could speak extemporaneously and just, why'd you choose them?
I'm looking for my notes. I'm trying to figure out why I chose those two projects. And I have my notes here for them. And I can't make heads or tails of my notes, so I'm gonna have to hold off.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. So Nathan-Bill Playground. Anyone want to make a comment? So can we go back to full screen of the members, Karen? Yeah, thank you. So I guess my feeling is, we haven't done a lot of work in this particular neighborhood. And I think we could do a segmented project, like just doing the pickleball courts. About a third of their costs are in sidewalks. Not terribly exciting to me, but a pickleball court, I think, is an up and coming trend. And it would be good for us to do something in a neighborhood that we haven't done a lot of open space or any CPA projects in. Okay, next one's Clinton. Oh, Clinton, did you want to add anything?
I was just going to say, I thought the whole project was was overinflated. You know, and that's
Yeah.
why I kind of turned me off. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else have a comment on Nathan Bill? So, Old First Church Parish Hall roof. Anyone want to make a comment on that?
I can, if everyone has had the chance, the response from Brian Connors is in the response folder. So he did reply with your questions specifically, Yolanda.
Okay.
I can bring it up if you want. If not, okay.
Yeah. Gloria, you have something?
Well, I can see repairing the roof is necessary. I understand the endowment can't do that. But I think I heard Brian say that they just put $7 million into refurbishing that court square.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't find $300,000 to do the roof? That's
Felt
it.
exactly. I felt the same way.
Good point.
But you know, I guess to be devil's advocate, Gloria, you can't hold the historic building responsible for the choices that's made by the bureaucracies.
You're absolutely right. And then now they're looking for a grant to figure out what to do with it. It just doesn't settle right with me.
Yeah.
So you
Also-
don't think they're being good stewards? Is that what you're saying, Gloria?
Oh, I think I said that pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt
There's-
like they've got more assessments than they actually doing the work. That's how
And
I
that-
felt the last time.
Yeah, that building has had so many studies done.
Right.
Right. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on, all right, 275 Maple Street Carriage House up at the Commonwealth Academy. Anyone have comments on that? So certainly it's a roof that needs to be replaced. You know, the most important thing you can do with a historic building is to keep water out. And we know that water's getting in. So once again, it's something that even if we just did the roof, that's better than nothing.
Mm.
Right. The Main and State Street project.
I've thought about that a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on with that project. I mean, many multi-millions of dollars. Many possible derailments and obstacles in the way. Ours is a very small piece of it, and I just wasn't convinced that right now has any viability. I may be a pessimist, but.
Anyone else want to make a comment? Karen, anyone else want to make a comment?
No, I'm just saying I agree with Steve.
Yeah. Okay.
It's such a huge project.
Well, I was somewhat troubled that they were asking us money to help purchase the property from the Springfield Redevelopment Authority. You know, the Springfield
Yeah, that's true,
Redevelopment Authority should be giving the property away for
For $1.
nothing because it has minimal value at this point.
Yeah, I know. That's a good point, Bob.
All
Should
right.
be a dollar. It's
So-
worth a dollar.
Anyone else have a comment there? All right, 2612 Main Street study or architectural plans. Any comments?
Yeah, I do. It's a study.
Yeah.
And we've done so many studies and it's a study.
Yeah, I would have been more comfortable had they asked for a development incentive like we gave the row houses on Maple Street last year.
Right.
Than money that's going into architectural plans. You know, the problem is if we put money into the plans and for whatever reason, the building never gets fixed, it was an ineligible activity because you can only help create affordable housing. If you don't create it, it's not an eligible activity. So it's
Right.
somewhat of a shaky request. If the plans came back and said, oh, this is a $2 million project and there's no one's going to raise the money for it. Anyway, moving on. I think we've talked about Goldenrod Street. Anyone else have a comment? I mean, these are about basically the same house being built side by side. And then the last two are the same houses, so we can talk about them together on Hancock Street and Marshall Street. Any comments?
Is that the single home ones?
Those are both single family houses being built by Hope CDC.
And I'm wondering if at the end of our work that we'd be able to maybe find some money for those as well. That was my
Right.
thought process.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see it possible.
Okay. So any other comments? No. All right, so Karen, let's go back to the screen again. So what we will do is, you know, we can,
Sorry about that.
you know, so, the screen has disappeared. There, now it's back. Thank you.
Can I make a comment here?
Yes, you can, Willie.
I was going through my notes and I think I know I made an error when I selected the Mulberry House and Kimbrough Towers projects. What I wanted to select was the CPA Down Payment Assistance Program and the CPA Historic Home Restoration Programs. That's probably when about the same time I lost my glasses, I guess. But
Oh,
in any event, those two projects that I had listed, Mulberry House
yeah,
and Kimbrough Towers, are not on my list here that I'm looking at now. What's on my list is CPA Down Payment Assistance Program and CPA Historic Home Restoration Program. So if I can make those switch, I would be greatly appreciated. And I'll make sure I get new glasses.
okay.
Thank you.
Karen, if you can do that, and then we will actually, since we were waiting for Willie on it, we will actually discuss to see if anyone has any comments on the Mulberry House roof project, since it now has received no votes, no selections. Anyone have comments?
I'm hoping that we could get them something. It is an elderly building, very active, and you know, the elderly, and I feel like, you know, sometimes I feel like they get ignored from the, like when I used to knock on doors for voting and stuff like that. They don't have like you know, people have to, the elderlies in that building have to leave that building to just go vote or do different things. I feel like sometimes they're kind of ignored over there in that little corner. So if they, you know, them coming in front of us is really good. It shows some activity that's going on in that building that they want to, you know, keep it up. So I'm hoping that we can give them at least something.
Okay, anyone else have comments? So the only thing that I would say, and this is more in the point of being devil's advocate, is that, you know, we have our own historic homes program where the lucky lottery winners can get between $15,000 and $30,000 for their house. So when you think of these as condos, it's not as much of an inordinate request because there are many more people living there. I would be curious, though, Karen, if you could contact them to ask each of them, Mulberry House and the Kimball, is what percentage of their units are indeed owner occupied as opposed to investor occupied? Can you?
That's a good question, Bob.
I will send that out tonight or tomorrow and make that request.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then when you get the response, just e-blast it to us as opposed to putting it in the folder, because folks may not be looking at the folders.
I'll do both.
Okay, yes, yes. All right, so if we can go back to the screen just for a minute. So my intent, because we've basically covered all the business tonight, much faster than I thought we would. When we meet in 2 weeks, you will have an opportunity to change your selections if you wish. And we will then start voting on recommendations. And we can once again talk about, as we do that, whether we may be recommending less than has been requested. My intent would be is we will be doing, we will be going through those that have 5, 4, and 3. And
Bob,
then
I have a question.
yeah,
I have a question. Can we, the Kavanaugh is sticking with me. Are we gonna, we won't know until next week if we know if we can give Kavanaugh and anything. I feel like me choosing one lot over a multi-unit, I feel like a multi-unit would be most deserving of my vote than like a single unit housing.
Well,
You get what I'm
so-
saying?
yeah, well, here's the deal. Well, let's just, we have about $3 million we can recommend.
Okay.
I think that unless people change their minds, and clearly some projects may not get full funding recommendation. I think right now, folks that are 3 and up are probably in a good place that they're going to be funded.
Mm.
There are a whole bunch of 2s, and then there's a bunch of 1s. We may not know what, if you change your vote, Kavanaugh will move from a 1 to a 2. That's a better position to be in, because what I intend to do is after we vote on the projects that got 3 and up next week, next meeting, you will have the opportunity prior to the following meeting, when we continue voting, to actually order your 2s in terms of your most important 2s to your least important 2s. Because my guess is there will not be enough money to fund all of the 2s, and we're not going to simply fund it based on their alphabetical order, whatever is their order in the spreadsheet within the 2s. Are people understanding me? I know it gets
Yes.
confusing. So we will vote on, let's say, a third of the projects at our next meeting, and we will vote on the next third at the subsequent meeting, and you will be able to reorder your priorities within those 2s. And then we may do the same thing if there's still money that will get us to the 1s.
Okay.
So the bottom line
Bob?
is, Yolanda, moving Kavanaugh from a 1 to a 2 certainly gives it a better opportunity. You though have to remove one of your other choices.
So can
So
people
hard.
decide to change their mind next time if they want to choose something else or eliminate it, or is that over? Or
Well, no. When we come to the next meeting, people will say, oh, I've decided to make a change. Please take out project X and give my vote to project Y, or my selection to project Y. And
so
then,
it's not just the 1s and the 2s, it's all of them.
well,
Reorder
so
it.
for the next meeting, you can change your selection for all of them. But what I'm saying is, after we vote on whatever are the projects that score 3 and higher, if there's still money to recommend, we will put that off to our meeting in the middle of May. and you will come in at that meeting with your, whatever is the number of projects in twos, you will have them prioritized. And then we
So-
will put that up, sort that out, and go and vote in the order of that.
So Karen, can I ask you to email us and put it in Google, that template that you just worked off of?
So that you can see all the votes?
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the selections, all of the
Selections.
selections.
Thank you, thank
Yes,
you.
I will do that.
All right. So I guess that's it. The only project update I have is, last year we recommended $300,000 to be attached to the Modernist house on Buyer Street that's vacant and deteriorated, as a development incentive for a developer to actually use the money to fix the building. The city put it out for RFP several months ago and only had one proposal. And the review committee that looked at it didn't like the proposal and didn't accept the proposal. So they reissued the request for proposal, and that has just closed. And there are about 6 proposals now.
No,
So let's hope that one of the 6, the city's review committee feels is a credible development proposal. So that's good news for CPA money, assuming it moves forward. Karen, I don't know if you have any other little administrators update for us?
Well, just a question. Do you anticipate that, because I am going to Minnesota in June, so I wanted to kind of coordinate this. Do you anticipate a meeting on the June 2nd and 8th, is it?
Well,
Like 2 meetings in June or?
no, there's only going to be one meeting in June.
And that
I
would-
expect that. So I'm expecting that we will, here's what I'm seeing, that we will be voting on the majority of the first third, more or less, of projects at our first meeting in May. We'll be voting on the second third of projects as ranked and re-ranked at our second meeting in May, and we will finish the voting at our first meeting in June and send everything to the city council. Now, the only other thing that we have to do within this time frame is we also have to vote on next year's budget, but that's not a big item. So I'm assuming that whatever that first meeting in June is, June 3rd, June 4th, will be our wrap up.
Okay. And then
When-
the
when
July
are you-
is off? July and
And
August?
then we
is off?
taking, unless there's an emergency, we're taking off July and August for all your good work and meeting twice a month. In the springtime, you get the summer vacation, barring an emergency. Clinton, did you have a question or something? No. All right. So with that, we will have a motion to adjourn.
That's my motion.
All right.
Second.
All right. All in favor, just say aye or wave your
Aye.
hand.
Up, everybody.
you,
Thank you
thank
so much
you.
for your work.
Very good. Thanks so much, everyone.
Karen,
buddy. Thanks.
Karen,
Yes.
what did you say? You were going away the first 2 weeks in June?
No, my daughter's in a performance and I want to go see it in June.
Yeah.
And I can certainly use my computer there, is fine, but I'll be flying home on the 8th, which is the second Tuesday in June. So I wanted to change my flight. Like I wanted to do that tonight, like put the right date in. So if we're not
Okay.
meeting the second, then that's great.
Hey,
No,
Juanita,
I have my computer with me. I can do it.
Juanita,
Okay.
before you get off, how can I get information about what's going on at Plastic Park? The one
Oh.
on Page Boulevard.
I think that's
I-
more of a Clinton question, because my guess
Or
is. the
yeah,
park
or
department
Clinton, because
did.
they said it was both the commission.
Right, because there's where the park is, it's bordering the wetlands. So you could probably call the Conservation Commission
Okay.
and also the Park Commission, because I think it's 2 of them. that they would know
Right.
what's going on. All the Conservation Commission knows is that if the wetland has to be delineated and all. So probably your best bet is call the park department.
What are you looking
Okay.
for, Leon? What are you looking for to find out?
Trying to figure out, because I was thinking of getting the community folks together to do a CPA for next year for that park, but I was told that somebody already kind of grabbed something. But when I called the neighborhood council or Zyda or Orlando, they had no clue. Neither three of them had any clue of anything going on at the park.
Well,
So
there
you're
is.
wondering, so
Huh?
you're wondering if there's any action going on at Plastic Park,
Yep.
any hope and promise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think, Yolanda, I think if you go to the City Hall website, and at the very home page, you can Google articles. Because that's where I found it. I think I found either that or I Googled it on Mass Live. There was a water and land and water conservation fund that came, I guess that's a federal government program.
Mhm.
That was announced 2 years ago. And I
Mhm.
think Zeta was present at the press conference.
Okay.
Now, it hasn't happened yet, and who knows if it's federal money, who knows whether it's going to happen.
Right. Well,
I
Um,
I
do.
definitely want to know, because I would love to put in for something, because it does have that big building, a big community. And in Indian Orchard, we have nothing for these kids. And if you look at this particular area off of Berkshire, there's really nothing, like no parks, really nowhere. That my son would have to leave from here to go all the way to Myrtle Street. And it's just like, it would be really, really great for us to do something with that big, huge open space and that big park and have that big building. So to do something with it. But I heard that somebody already kind of grabbed to do something with there. So,
I mean, it's been a while, but they came before the Conservation Commission just, to delineate the wetland. So what they're doing after that would be the park. We don't know,
okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
I'll talk to
guys.
them. I'll talk to the Parks Department.
Thank you, Clinton.
Yeah. All right. I'll get back to you.
all right, very
Bye,
good.
guys.
Well, yeah, happy Easter.
Yeah.
Happy
Happy
Easter.
Aye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.